Hey guys, just wanted to send you a video about what we're going to be talking about this week. You guys know that we're just finished. Sorry, I'm trying to block this light for you. You guys know that we've been talking about relationships this semester, so we're about to start our like boyfriend girlfriend kind of love series. We'll be doing that for 4 weeks. And so we're going to have our 4 weeks will be what love is, what love isn't. We'll do kind of a cool split session where we address the girls and the guys directly, but everybody will actually be in the same room, but we won't like acknowledge that they're in the same room. Because very typically when you do relationship and sex talks with kids in schools and at youth group and things like that, they'll take the boys and the girls and they put them in separate places because they need to hear different things. Well, we're going to take the angle of they need to hear different things, but they also need to hear kind of what each other is hearing. And so we'll address them separately as if they're not, the two groups aren't in the same room. And so it'll be a really cool opportunity for the young people to hear kind of both sides of the coin and everything. So we're really excited about that week. That'll be the 3rd week. And the 4th week will be a panel discussion. We'll have a group of girls, a group of guys, and the students will be able to submit questions. Of course, throughout the series, the middle school emphasis is going to be respect, relationships, what good relationships look like and don't look like, and things like that. The high schoolers will dive a little bit more into if they have questions about, many of them are in relationships or more serious relationships, but it will revolve around those relationships, and we'll let them ask questions about sex and their future and all kinds of different things like that. So we're going to keep the middle school age appropriate. We're going to let high school be age appropriate too, and so high school will just have a little bit of a longer leash than middle school. So if you have any questions about that or the lines on that one and everything, talk to us because we have really good, we've had to navigate this lots and lots of times. And so this 1st week, we're talking about, like I said, what love is. And so I'm going to start out the evening talking about my favorite soda, which is Dr. Pepper. And people always try to, like, you'll ask for Dr. Pepper at a restaurant, and they'll give you, like, Mr. Pibb instead, or something else. I'm not a fan of any of the knockoffs. I don't like them. I like the real thing. I like Dr. Pepper. I don't like Diet Dr. Pepper. I don't like Dr. B or Dr. Thunder or Mr. Pibb, any of those things. Like, you could give me a blind taste test, and I could tell the difference every single time. Right? And we're all like that about the things that we really like. We can tell the difference. For a car person, we can tell the difference between engines and different things, and on and on and on. And so, but I'm going to talk about how, but every once in a while I'll be someplace and I'll be really thirsty, and I'll consider drinking the other thing. I'll consider drinking like the diet soda that I don't like as much. I'll consider drinking the Mr. B or the Mr. Pibb or whatever, whatever alternative, or a Coke even. I'll consider drinking something I don't like as much, but because I'm just thirsty and I kind of want something to fill that gap. And so I'll talk about that and let them talk about what their thing is that they're about, that they can always tell the difference in. And then we'll come back and it'll get a little bit more real, and we'll talk about, it's a silly parallel, but we'll talk about how we all want to be loved, and we all deep down, feel like we know what genuine love is, and it doesn't really match up with what the media says necessarily. But often, in the absence of what we see as real and true love, we go for the cheap alternative. We go for kind of what the media says that love should be, and which is dramatic, which is all these crazy things, and so it's in the absence of the real thing. Often we're so thirsty because we so desire to be loved that we go for the cheap alternative. And talking about that with their young people, and talking about, we won't spend a lot of time on what love isn't, but it's a big emphasis here. Love isn't shameful. If whatever you're doing that's called love brings you shame or kind of makes you feel kind of bad in your stomach, that's not love, because that's not what love is. And so and our verse is going to be 1 Corinthians 13:4, which we all know, we've all heard before at least, is the love is patient, love is kind. It's not jealous, boastful, or proud, or rude. It doesn't demand its own way. It's not irritable, and it keeps no record of being wronged. It does not rejoice in injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up. Love never loses faith. It is always hopeful and endures through every circumstance. And so it never fails. And so what we're going to be giving the kids is we're going to print these bookmarks that we've kind of created. This is just a dummy copy that I have here, but we'll put them on cardstock. This is like still a rough draft, so we're going to do a couple more where it just says love on the top of it, and it lists these things that this verse says about love, about what love is. Not characteristics of the person that you love necessarily, but what the love itself is. And so for those of them that maybe are in relationships, the challenge is going to be, does this match up? Does your relationship match up with this and what it says that love is? Um, and maybe if they're not, maybe if some of the middle schoolers are kind of, far away from that, or even some of the high schoolers, it's saying, hey, look at the people in your life that you love, whether it's your family or your friends. Is this the way that you're loving them if it doesn't line up for them? And then also looking at this and saying, this is the kind of love that you need to expect, in the future, that you need to live up to, because this is what love is. And so um, that's basically, we're going to keep it really simple as just defining like, this is what love is. And we're not going to draw a really stark contrast to what love isn't, because we're going to do that really intensely next week. Mostly talking about how love isn't ultimatums and things like that, and contrasting a lot of what we see in the media about love, and on TV and on Facebook and all that mess, um, contrasting that with what love is. And so this week's just to get the ball rolling, just to get them talking about their relationships, or just talking about what they think their relationships should look like and things like that. And so really excited about it. If you guys know your groups better than we do because you're in them. So if you have anything specific that your students need to hear, let us know, or don't be afraid to share those things with your students. Just be sensitive, because this is a sensitive topic. Be sensitive about how you present that material to middle schoolers and to high schoolers and things like that. And once again, if you want some guidance in that area, we'd be more than happy to help you out. So that's all I got for you. Have an awesome weekend, and we'll see you guys Monday. Thank you so much for what you do. Bye.